Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here to speak on behalf of the Ginsberg Center. Can I get a show of hands of anyone who's heard of the Ginsberg Center? Oh, we have some. Okay, I shouldn't go so far as to say fans. People know us. So if you haven't heard of the Ginsberg Center, or if you have, but you haven't quite put a description to our name, we are a community engagement center for the University of Michigan, and our mission is to cultivate and steward equitable partnerships between communities and U of M in order to advance social change for the public good. So that means a lot of different things. In fact, one of our biggest pieces of more marketing is just a list of all the different things that we do. But I like to think of us as a few different gears. One sort of facing communities where we're listening, connecting, and stewarding relationships. Working with students who are at the center of our work to connect, engage, support, and educate them. And then working with faculty to connect, design, prepare, and research. What does that actually look like in real life? I see us as navigators and, in some sense, translators or interpreters, having to put together folks in different spaces to collaborate on projects that are often works about real change. We're informed by stakeholders and research. So we really did, when we developed our strategic plan, a lot of work to think about what's needed. And that was based on campus and what's in the community as well, with these sort of four key pieces about connection, preparation, stewarding relationships with partners over the long haul, and then to coordinate and add coherence. And these are our basic principles. I'm not going to belabor each one of these for you, but for us, equity is really the cornerstone of what we do. Moving from sort of individual singular actions to, right, as we just saw, translating things that can reach whole communities to collectiveness. And then to always start with community, we take an outside-in approach to engagement, which means that we start with communities and bring those priorities into the university. We acknowledge power and work to address imbalances. To connect across learning contexts and to foster long-term partnerships. So why are you here? You might be asking yourself. We're here because we think that translation is really relevant to our work, and because our hope is that some of these projects may be engaging in communities, and we want to let you know that we're a resource in this space. And sort of in brief, what we do is when we work with communities, we're centered on partnering with nonprofits, pre-K through 12 schools, as well as local governments to bolster their work on the front lines of pressing social concerns and challenges. So we have a deep belief and faith in the expertise and knowledge of experience and of our community partners who have deep understandings of complex topics that often folks at the university are engaged with and wanting to address as well. At the heart of our work is a matchmaking process. My role at the center is as a university community partnerships manager. I can't just use the term matchmaker because people think things go very fiddler on the roof, but it's actually a little different than that. I work with our different teams facing different directions to understand community priorities, find campus connections and resources to make those connections, and then to prepare students and faculty on campus to enter into those connections in really responsible ways. And then I do the work of fostering long-term campus and community partnerships. So we check in on those matches. We make sure everything's going on. We help bring in additional partners if necessary. And then if that relationship ends between any university partner and a community partner, we're back there always for that partner to connect to and to be a home base. I'm going to spare you some of the boring technological details, but suffice it today, we use a lot of data to try to understand what's going on in our communities and how we can share that. And I think this is just an example of some of the kinds of projects that we've matched for people to tackle and to address right around different kinds of questions, which I think can really give a range of what it is that's happening and what our community partners are coming to us for in a given day. I might be bringing folks to understand the potential economic impacts of a $2.7 million senior millage on Washtenaw County, and bringing researchers from the School of Dentistry into youth community centers to provide low cost and free dental education, or to bring creative performances together to help illustrate complex questions and do education in schools or with older adults. So there's a whole range of different projects in our wheelhouse. And I think one thing that's really, this is a tool we use and it's general, but what our vision is that there's so many different ways that community interest can emerge and can take different forms. And so any different community priority we think could be advanced in a number of different ways and through different kinds of partnership, right? So it could be through research, providing consultation and expertise through a course-based solution, different kinds of collaboration or student partnerships. There's so many different key elements in here. And that those are things that can emerge, right, to respond to different dimensions of a community problem, right, or a challenge, right, that maybe the hard data isn't going to be enough to enliven that and to help address it, but that using different modalities, there is that possibility. To give you sort of an overview quickly of the work that we have done, these are all different examples of 4 projects that have happened. That we have connected. So whether that's working with our friends at Poverty Solutions to update an economic index, to do professional development, or to do evaluation and assessment for different programs. We made 100 plus matches in 2018 or in FY 2019 actually. And we're hoping to go a lot farther this year and to partner and support folks who want to do that work and take it seriously and really engage in bold, creative projects that address these existing challenges and engage with deeply rooted community expertise. This is a little spread. Our focus is local. We think a really critical correspondence to Michigan's global focus is to keep both of these things right together, that both our communities here as well as a much broader community that we're engaged in. To give a sense of sort of where some of our partners are. This is about 160 in the Washtenaw County area, 71 in Metro Detroit, or 71 in Detroit, about 23 in the Metro Detroit area. And then increasingly more and more folks coming from throughout Michigan that we're engaging with. We had a great meeting in Mount Pleasant a couple of weeks ago, and we're really trying to reach out to different communities. And I do want to end by really focusing on what kind of things we can do, sorry, I'm a wanderer, to support, that we try to do to support students as they take on their roles and responsibilities as leaders, addressing key issues to enact transformation, right, alongside partners. So we want to help them advance their knowledge, skills, and commitment to socially responsible engagement that contributes to a thriving, inclusive, and just democracy. We really want to help our students engage and grow as full people, as leaders. And so we don't just connect them to communities. Our match process is at the heart of what we do, but it is, we think, nothing without the other parts of education and training we offer to students. So for individual students, we can help them engage, we can educate and connect them, and then we offer ongoing support, including financial support and grants to student-led projects. And then I'll just touch briefly on what we do with faculty, which is to recognize and support their role as really profound agents in this work. And so always happy to chat more about what faculty do, but really wanted to make sure I got to students and our match process. And then just to give you a snapshot of what it is that has happened at Ginsberg in 2019, right? So in terms of training for our students, that's over 4,000 students were served, whether that was through workshops, student org support, our programs that we run, alternative breaks, and the employees and interns that are really the lifeblood of the Ginsberg Center. And as well as students who are in ongoing Ginsberg programs, our active citizens, alternative spring breaks, literacy initiatives, and a number of different areas that they're in. We're really focusing to grow that and help all of our students who are doing this work do it as best as they possibly can with real attention to power differentials, and so that they can find true alignment with partner priorities to really enact the kind of change we think they're capable of. And so one more snippet. We just did our annual report. We like to brag a little. We're pretty proud of what we did in the past year. But really a whole range of different things, all the way from individual democratic engagement, all the way up to matches and grants to faculty. So I'm going to try to, I think for me, wrap up briefly. This is pretty miraculous, but I'm happy to answer any questions at the end, or say more about what it is we think Ginsberg can do to help support, right, this incredible new opportunity that's being launched. And I want to thank everyone again for letting me be here and share our work.